You might see what happens here in the next 5 to 6 weeks, and it completely blows you out psychologically, and you can't focus because the stress is too high. And trading, you won't be able to focus on trading because you're worrying about external issues that are real tangible issues because you have a family to take care of. You have needs and ends to make meet. And you're going to tell yourself, I need. No, you don't. I have to. No, you don't. No, you don't. None of you have to trade ever. None of you need the next trade to be a winner. That's just you saying that. If you never found investing or trading, you wouldn't say things like that. But because you knew the opportunity is there, and you see the influence of other people saying, look at my payout. Look at my payout. Look at my payout. They're doing that because they're signaling because they need attention. They need to remind themselves that it's like a pinch for them because they can't believe they just did that. They cannot believe they just pulled that off. And that's why they're sharing it online. Someone that is come to terms with themselves, they have confidence in themselves. They are not doing, here's how much money I made. Here's how much money. Look at me. Look over here. Hey, you over there. I know you don't even trade, but stop for a second. Look what the fuck I just did. Look at that, bro. Come at me. Nobody cares that much. Nobody cares that much. But if someone will like that comment or retweet it or give you an attaboy, attagirl, that means more than what you just made in money. That means more than what you earned in your trading. Tell me how that makes fucking sense. Some of you are sitting there laughing to yourself like, yeah, that's exactly what the hell's going on when I do it. I never thought about that either. Right. Because your shit's all twisted. Your perspective's all messed up. You're not in the market to impress people. You're not here to impress people. You're not in here to entertain people. You're not in here to measure up against somebody else. You got ends to meet. And when you're making bread on the constant, when you're in here making money, putting your nose to the grind, mind your own fucking business, making money, you don't give two shits what people think. You don't care because you've been doing it. It's an everyday thing. It's another fucking Tuesday to me. Okay. It's all it is. It's another fucking Tuesday. Nothing different. It's a different paycheck, a different income increase. And I didn't have to do anything different. But you complicate the things emotionally and psychologically by inviting other people's opinion about what you did. If you know what you're doing works, why are you posting what you made? Because you need that stimuli. You need that little soft hand touching the back of your hand saying, you know what, honey? You just did something real impressive. Any chance you and I get hooked up? Because I've been looking for a man like you, and you seem to have a mastery over money. And I need a daddy. I need a daddy in my life. That's what you want. That's what you young men want. You want that shit. When you should be out there looking for a woman that makes her own money. Because that's sexy as fuck. Find a woman that can carve out 6 figures or higher in her own hands, and she turns to you and says, you know what? You're attracted to me. When you're making the same kind of bread or more, that is a match made in heaven. Because if one equity earner is greater than the other, and it's the female, little dick complex comes out. Men that trade with less ability than a woman that can do it, that is a failed, doomed relationship. Women, take note of that. Men, fix your shit. So instead of looking for someone that's lesser than yourself so they can look at you and say, I need to stay with him. I'll do all his bidding because he makes a lot of money and I want to keep him because he's my daddy. That's not relationship security. That's a problem. You have a dependent. Fuck that. You want a strong partner. You want a financially strong partner that's not going to lean on you because they need you in codependency. You want them to encourage you and feel like, you know what? They're not here for what I have, but they're here to invest in what we have. What we can put together as a corporate entity, as a family element, a unit of unity. not taking something from somebody else in the relationship and saying, well, that's the way it works. He makes more money, so therefore he should. Fuck you. You don't owe that woman any more money because your relationship is together. And women, you don't have to support that deadbeat either. You might find him attractive. You might love him in other things. But if he's a deadbeat, that's not marriage material. That's not fucking marriage material. And these are all the same reoccurring things. I see students going through this all the time. You can make a lot of money as a trader and have a failed personal life. Hanging around with women that are gold digging motherfuckers, hanging around men that are gold digging motherfuckers. It goes both ways. When you should be looking for individuals that are strong, successful, independent minded, because if they choose to be with you and they recognize you as someone worth being with, it's a real testimony. It's not lying. It's not just saying, whatever you want to hear just to get something from you, because they have their own bread. If they're making bread and you can get with them and they find equality in you in terms of seeing you as something worth being with, man, that's a match made in heaven. That means the real affection, the real draw for one another being together, that's a real thing. And it's not external to money. And that is peace of mind, being in a relationship like that. That is a very strong relationship. And you're there because you want to be there. And they're in it because they want to be in it. You'll have no second guessing about why they're with you. Young men, they have a lot of money, they spend them on the women. And there's a certain type of woman out there that'll just be around you. You're ugly as a fucking toe. But guess what? She's hanging on your arm because you're spending money on her. You're giving her something to do and you're funding it. And it makes her feel like, wow, I got a wallet with two legs. And all I got to do is entertain them for a little while. Who gives a shit? That's an opportunistic person. And it happens with men too. I have students that do very, very well that are female, and they have been attracted to young men that look well. They go to the gym, they take care of themselves, but they don't make money. They're deadbeats. They have a job for a little while, they lose their job, and they chase after those types of relationships, just like a retail trader chases after flawed logic. Who's the fault? Who's the fault in that problem? The person that's trying to make something that's toxic good, calling it good. But I love them. No, you don't. You're obsessive. There's something wrong with you that you view that person who is not good for you, it's toxic, just like that bad trading methodology, the things that you think causes markets to go up and down. You subscribe your opinion to it, and you place emphasis on things that have no bearing on your outcome being successful as a relationship or the outcome being successful as a trader. You're the root cause of the problem. You have bad decision-making skills. You're enablers. You enable these things to happen to yourself, but you don't recognize it. So you could be making lots of money. And I've created wonderfully profitable students, but their lives personally are fucking train wrecks. And some of them listening are cringing because you're afraid I'm going to mention your name. I would never say your name. But it's on both sides of the spectrum. I've had students that came up in my mentorships, married couples. They went in with the idea, we're going to learn how to do this and we're going to make our family stronger. And we're going to teach our kids this and yada, yada, yada. Wonderful. And one of them starts doing really well. And generally it's the man. And that good relationship that they felt they were strongly knitted together about this bringing children into the relationship. Now all of a sudden this young man is now making $100,000 a month. Spendable money, not demo. And he says, I got to go. I don't want to be in this anymore. And he's out chasing tail, living stupid. And I'm consoling the woman in the relationship. And that stole her joy. That stole her passion for wanting to do it as a family element. She doesn't want to do it anymore, and she can't bring herself to do it anymore. She can't study anymore because the only thing she can think of is how this man has stole her dream, ripped her heart out of her chest, and she no longer wants to see the market or trading as a vehicle for her success or happiness. She sees it as now it's the reason why she's unhappy. What's wrong with that situation? She's allowing a little dick energy boy, not a man, He's a fucking boy, and he's my student, and he knows exactly who the fuck I'm talking to. I don't give a fuck. You are a piece of shit. You're a worthless fucking piece of shit. You're never going to find happiness doing what you're doing. And what you're going to end up hooking up with, you're going to get with one that's craftier than you. And they're going to hook you up for an 18-year plan. And you may not be with them, but you're going to be forced to pay for a child that's going to be raised by somebody else. And you're going to have to fund that because you're doing things stupid. And young lady, if you were like that, you found yourself in that situation, similar things like that, or you're in an abusive relationship and you're looking for this to get you out of it, I'm praying for you. I believe that you'll be able to do it. But what happens if it's already happened to you and you've lost this passion to not want to do it anymore because you went into it as a partnership and your partner left you? And now you're left with grief. You're left with this uncertainty of what your future is going to be because you have based your future around this person being part of it. It was 50% of that family element, that unit that you were forging together. Well, first of all, you have to give them permission to have made that bad decision on their own. And it has nothing to do with you. They have control over their decision making. You don't. And if they made the decision to leave, then they left. You can't make them come back. And why would you want them back? It's a bad trade. Let the stop out happen. It stopped out for a reason. They did you the biggest favor in the world because what they showed you was a lie. And you're worth more than that. You're worth better than that. So return your focus back to yourself. It's not selfishness. Build yourself up. Build yourself up and focus on the things that you're going to find as strengths. And then what will happen is you will become better equipped to look at that and say, you know what? I know that I didn't cause that man or that woman to make the decision to leave. They are weak and they needed those things to chase after. I'm going to work on myself because I know there's someone that's in the offing, some in the future that I'm going to meet. And I'm going to be in a better position psychologically, emotionally, and financially where I won't need anybody. I don't need to be with anyone financially. And when they find worth and value in me and I find worth and value in them, I will have another opportunity to form something that's strong, it's unique, that is wholesome. And my mental health, my emotional health, my financial well-being will not be in jeopardy because I've made a poor decision rushing into some kind of relationship because I need some companionship. Companionship is not love. It's not trusting your partner. It's not being in a stable environment. And you probably never considered all these things. But that's the reality of what happens when people start making money or they make a decision to go in here and start doing it. And one of the partners in that relationship finds success. And they start thinking, wow, I can get more attention, more sex from another person or more people. And I'm not stuck with just one person who they accepted as this is my life partner right now while I'm able to do week to week living. But now they can make a lot of money. They don't see that person as valuable anymore. But that means they never loved you. That means they never loved you. So don't waste any more emotion. Don't waste any more time, energy, worrying about what they did. Let them go. Let them go. Wish them well and start fresh. Living in that regret is like holding on to regret and drawdown and saying, I'm never going to be able to be a better trader because I lost money or I blew an account or I lost my combine or I failed the combine. How you think about these things is going to weigh heavily on what you do in the future. And because you're doing things that are speculative, that has a monetary reward or punishment if it's incorrect, doesn't it mean that you should be guarding your mind, staying out of social media bullshit, staying out of toxic relationships, staying out of bars on the weekend and clubs, meeting people that genuinely are not favorable for you? When you're going to these things on the weekend and you're spending what you work so hard for all week long, there's no guarantee that person you're trying to pay drinks for is going to be your spouse. And some of you don't care. I don't want a spouse. I just want a hookup. Well, what happens if you get more than a hookup? You have a problem. And ladies, you know what you do. You go to the bars and all you have to do is flirt and you can drink for free all night. That's not right either. You should learn how to make your own money and go there. If you want to drink, pay your own bill. And if you're smart, financially literate, you can have all that shit as a write-off. But financial literacy is something that most people never find an interest in being well equipped. It's all about image. It's all about living in the moment right now. You can't take it with you. Yeah, but you got to have class while you have it here. Otherwise, it's separated from you quickly. A fool and his money is soon separated. In trading, it's the same. And you should not be romancing the uncertainty. You never know how long you're going to have it. So you might as well enjoy it and splurge and spend and do dumb shit with your money. That's stupidity. That's dumb. And I'm hoping now that my son Caleb has passed his top step combine, he did a $50,000 combine. So now he told me he paid for the activation of it. So hopefully he'll do well going forward. I told him, I said, your goal is to trade one contract. Just one contract. And you're trying to do 50% up to 100% of what your gross income is. You're not trying to make more than that. You're not trying to roll the account up. All you're trying to do is prove to yourself doing the very little that is required to replicate what you're earning over 50 plus hours a week. He commutes out of our state to go to his job. And then at the end of the week, he has rotating days. He never has static days off. That's uncomfortable. As his dad, that's uncomfortable. So it took him being in this situation to want to do this. It wasn't enough for him to watch me be successful with it, make other people successful with it, growing up in it. He wasn't inspired by that. So I make my children work. And I allow them to make decisions where they feel the pain of that. And now he has the unique perspective of what I do forward from here changes for better or keeps it as it is. And he should not be taking crazy risks. He should not be trying to trade more than what's required. He's going to be operating in those first few hours of the day. By 11 o'clock, he's done. And he's focusing on the things I'm teaching in this 2024 mentorship. He's not trying to reinvent the wheel. He's not trying to trade the PM session. He's not trying to trade the London session. He's not trying to trade the Asian session. He's trying simply to trade inside of a small little window of time. Looking for a very simple procedure. Where is that first presented fair value gap? Where is a clustering of new day and or new week opening gaps? And do they converge around an old high or an old low that matches the opening range bias based on that gap?